Hello and welcome to this review of Scream 6. I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
So Scream 6.
Scream 6.
Did you ever imagine we'd be here?
No.
6 films in.
No?
It all started back in 97.
97. Wow. I just watched I've watched the first 3 again.
Yeah.
We're actually doing like a Scream
Marathon. Yeah.
So it was weird, just going back to those. I mean, I watched the first one a lot anyway.
Yeah.
Because they always have like a Scream 1, Scream 2.
That's the classic
thing, like on the movie channels.
Right.
So I've been watching those a lot lately. And then we just watched Scream 3 just recently. We're trying to get to Scream 4 and rewatch Scream 5. So it's, wow. It's
yeah. I still, I should have, I've seen 4. I don't remember too much about it, but 5 I did not see. I still have not seen 5.
5 was pretty good. 5 was pretty good.
That was a big box office hit. I mean, that's how he got this one.
Yeah.
This was a fast track sequel. It hasn't been that way since the second one.
Right. And then Scream 5 was more of a, I think for me, the end of the old era in a way.
Yep.
And then
the Woodsboro
location,
hopefully.
Location. Yeah. And I mean, we're going to get to that, but as it goes into the next one, I mean, it's mentioned, of course.
Yes,
it's always going to be mentioned, no matter what.
That's where it all started. Yeah,
and then the whole, Sydney thing and all types of stuff. So all that stuff's still mentioned.
Yes,
and all that. But 5 was one of the better ones.
Sure,
1 was always for me the one of the better ones, the best one. 2 was all right. 3 and 4. 3 was okay. 4 I don't remember as much yet, which is why we're going to be rewatching that.
Yeah.
And then 5 was pretty good. And then 6 for me was probably the one of the better ones.
Sure.
Of all of them. I think 1 and 6 are like the top ones for me.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely. 4 was kind of just forgettable to me. I only saw it once, I think. So didn't remember too much, but it was like 10 years between the 4th and 5th one.
I don't remember who the killer was in 4th. That's why I'm going to rewatch it.
Well, not really. I mean, won't spoil it yet, but 6, they break it down, the whole lineage of Ghostface.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. But of course, this latest installment takes place in New York City, so that was very refreshing to me anyway. And I love the poster art they've done for this, and it's very Jason Takes Manhattan-esque, but more successful, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes a little more sense as well, too, in a way.
They actually filmed in New York. I think Jason Goes to Manhattan was like, they filmed in like Vancouver.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even New York.
They make everything look like New York when it's actually someplace else.
Right. But yeah, we got, of course, the Legacy characters back. Legacy meaning also appeared in a previous Scream. So the first film without Neve Campbell. That's crazy.
Yeah. And that was a shocker, but again, kind of like I said from 5, it was kind of an end of an era. I mean, they'll still mention Sydney's name and all that, but this is more of they're past all that type of thing, and kind of bringing in kind of a newer aspect for the
new blood,
literally,
right?
And I mean, if they do end up making another one, would it be like an all-out Scream movie, like bringing whoever's left back, and maybe Neve Campbell will come back and do the.
I think her issue is contract negotiations. She either didn't. I haven't read too much into it, other than the fact she wanted more money and they didn't want to do that. But it's either she didn't really want to do it. You know how you don't want to do something, like especially you get an estimate somewhere. Right. We were just talking about estimates. You just go straight straight to the ceiling, and people are usually like, "All right, we get it. We're not gonna go with you." But in this case, it could either be that, or she did want to come back, but she just felt she was worth more. Because she is in every single Scream film, as well as Courtney Cox and Dewey.
Well,
Jason Arquette.
Yeah,
that was a little spoiler for me for this film. So, but I knew going into it, like, I'm going to be spoiled. I had plenty of time to see the last one, so it's my fault. No, but I had plenty of time. The 5th one's been on Paramount Plus forever, so
I've only seen the fifth one. I've seen the fifth one twice.
Yeah.
We saw it in the theater, and then we've seen it once outside of that.
Sure.
And, there's a couple funny parts in there that we really enjoyed. And
yeah.
My kids love scary movies, so we they get into the watch the Ghostface stuff as well too. So.
Well, I think we might owe the new Halloween trilogy a big thank you for revitalizing Scream. I don't know if it was already in the works, but it felt very Halloween-esque. The first movie in the new trilogy, how they were all coming back, and the way it was shot, it just looked it looked different, but the same at the same time.
I think with those, they're probably kind of testing the water to see if something like that can actually make an impact, because some of these movies are pretty old, and the originals were, box office successes.
Right.
And then, coming back with a more modern, age, Halloween or Ghostface or whatever, it's tough these days, in this kind of.
Yeah, well, as long as you can capture what's hip right now, the younger audience is discovering these films. Yeah. So if you can bring a new one to the table that they can relate to, like technology-wise, our advancement in technology has really helped these films. The writers are very smart to, capitalize on that. I think the last one, I remember from the trailer anyway, the smart technology about the door being unlocked, like that was clever. Yeah. You could easily not think of that, but they did, and I think that's really helped connect it with the new generation as well as the old generation, because a lot of us we have that tech too, and so we're like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna dismantle that when I get home. But going back to the cast, of course, Courtney Cox, she's back, Gale Weathers, all Scream films there. Melissa Berra, I don't know if I'm saying that right. She played Sam Carpenter in Scream 5, and then Jenna Ortega, which she's a rock star right now.
Yeah, she's having probably the time of her life right now.
Yeah, talk about negotiations. Like the next film, if they do a next one, she might be a little expensive. I don't know.
Maybe.
Unless she wants to do it.
It's not known yet there's going to be one, but
it's always possible with these films.
It hasn't been ruled out yet.
Yes.
But I know, if you're going to try and top the last two, you gotta, it's gotta be a good script, and I think she'd be, she's a survivor, so I'm sure they would bring her back, and whoever else. So it'd be pretty awesome to see that if they can do it.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah. She's great. She just played Wednesday. That really helped her career, and
Wednesday, and then she did SNL.
Yeah, she was great on that.
And she's just doing a bunch of stuff, and she's had a good couple of years.
Yeah, she's a big standout star. Yeah. She plays Tara Carpenter, of course. Jasmine Savory Brown, she plays Mindy Meeks Martin.
She's hilarious.
Yeah. These were totally new characters for me because I hadn't seen the last one. Like I said. She plays Randy's niece. Yeah, that's cool. Little connection there.
I think the one that plays her brother. I think so. They're obviously they're Randy's niece.
Yes, Mason Gooding plays Chad Meeks Martin, who is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. Which is
that part I didn't even know. I guess I didn't.
He doesn't look like his dad entirely. He's like his own person. He's very charismatic, and I think he's definitely his own actor as well. But yeah, they're brother and sister, and they're both nieces, nephew of Randy. I thought that was really cool. Because that was a shock to me. I was like, I didn't know who any of these people were until they were like Uncle Randy's shirt, and I was like, oh.
Well, it's kind of funny how they have these characters who are related to some of the original characters, whether it be like a daughter or a niece, nephew type of thing. So it's kind of weird how it's like the new generation coming up and taking place of their uncle or whoever left off,
which helped with the last one being set in Woodsboro, so you could have those characters, and then they graduate high school and they're moving out because of many things, many slashings. Hayden Panettiere, is that how you say your name? I don't know. Kirby Reed from Scream 4. She was also in Heroes back in the day. I've never been able to say her last name. But glad to see her back.
Is it Panettiere?
Panettiere. Yeah. I should have had you read these names. Skeet Ulrich, which I knew our last conversation we had, I think, on one of the Field of Geeks podcasts. I was like, they brought him back? Yeah, they didn't bother de-aging him too much again.
No, I don't think they can. honestly.
I think just using the voice would be more effective, but I don't know. It's very interesting how.
I mean, I guess they could have CGI'd his face, but it would have been all that great. So either you use a voice, or
it's okay.
He's going to bring him back. I mean, he's just
maybe you age in hell.
He's an aged ghost, so,
right?
I mean,
right, right. And then Roger Jackson, who of course has been the Ghostface voice all these screams. It's funny because I thought Wes Craven was the voice originally, but obviously not, because Wes hasn't been with us for a long time.
I didn't even realize that there were different, or the same guy doing the Ghostface. Because I thought, like, even the first one, when they had, like, since they had like the voice thing, I thought that with like Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, when they did the first one, I thought that they were actually
it actually modulated their voice.
Because when they did the final like battle scene, when they're like surprise Sydney and it looked like you've seen a ghost. Well, they brought that in, so I thought that those were that, and same thing with the other characters. I didn't realize it was the same person each time. So that's a new one for me. Yeah,
Roger Jackson. Yeah, and then we got new characters, of course. Dermot Mulroney, who plays Detective Bailey. Young Guns. Man, they made that dude ugly in Young Guns, didn't they?
I don't think I've actually seen Young Guns.
You've never seen Young Guns?
No.
Oh, man. All right.
I don't think I really had much of a
commentary coming. Oh, I think you like it. I think you like it. But he's been in other films. It escapes me right now. But you recognize him, don't you? Or other things? I bet you would.
I might. I mean, I might have to.
He's been around for a long time. But we also have Jack Champion, who played Ethan Laundrie. He was in Avatar 2. I know you didn't see that one, but he played Spider. Wow, this guy's a really good actor. He's got quite a range, and as Spider, they filmed that like years ago, so he's definitely aged out of that look. But he's also in Avengers Endgame. He was the kid on the bike. Scott Lang asked, like, "Hey, what's going on?"
I gotta start paying attention to these movies then.
Well, IMDb is here for you, so here for me too. Let's see, Liana Liberato. She plays Quinn Bailey. She's a little sex crazed. Roommate.
Yeah.
Tony Revolori, who plays Jason Carvey. He was in the MCU Spider-Man films, and he was in the Grand Budapest Hotel. So, that's the cast there. Let's go into quickly spoiler-free thoughts. I really liked it. I thought I had a good time with this.
Like I said, I think for me it was like the part of the top 2 or 3 that of the Scream franchise. That I actually liked. You had a few in the middle that weren't maybe as good. I'm not sure how they did in the box office.
Some speed bumps.
Some speed bumps. But I
2
think
barely made $100 million. I think they even released it twice, and it didn't make as much as the first one without, really trying.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the last one was major box office hit. $139 million it made, and it had a $24 million budget. So good profit.
It's a good profit.
Yeah.
So if you go 1, 5, 6, maybe 2, 3, 4, that's pretty much probably.
I declare a thumb war.
Yeah. I think that would probably be the order that the movies would probably be rated for me.
Yeah, one's such a classic. It changed the game. We had all these. We had urban legends come out after that. I Know What You Did Last Summer. It just really set the table for a whole new genre of
horror movies.
They were self-aware film. Well, Scream was very self-aware. Right. That was the first time I think they actually called out the scary movies are actually in that world. Right. I don't know if they ever tackled that before, but. This was a really refreshing sequel, and it really, the stakes and the setting. I love how it played into your comfort with like daylight and crowds, because you're like, hey, they're safe, they're around people.
No.
But I like that. It like changed up the game. The New York setting was very well done, I thought. It really lived up, I think, to what it was going for. And I could see more sequels changing up the location. You could go, Cabin in the Woods has been done to death, but you go to like some kind of cabin community or like a ski resort. Ghostface on skis. That'd be kind of fun. If they do it right.
Skis.
Yeah, you got to do it right.
Scream on skis.
So
it's almost like ski.
His screams are like
Disney on Ice, but it's like Scream on Ice.
He screams on like giant swords or something. And he just
never
leaps
know.
And kills his victims.
That could be one of those like scary movie parodies type of thing.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that because I actually had that thought too. I'm like, also a great time for those to come back. The Waynes to bring them back, not the other ones after 2. But man, they really could make a new one.
They could.
And really explore like all these other genres, wherever the other ones stopped, where they didn't have a...
If they had an interest in doing that, I think...
If they did, or the rights for that matter, because I don't think they own the rights. But man, if they don't do it, I think whoever does own the rights might.
Unless it'd be like an SNL pair type of thing.
Oh yeah, you could do that too. Yeah, someone should get on that. I would imagine. Geez, but
you can see like Kenan Thompson running from a Ghostface character or something like
that. Kel Mitchell's Ghostface.
Welcome to Good Burger.
Hey, that's coming. I know this isn't that show, but Good Burger too, everybody. I love the cast and some of the concepts like the other films were a tad far-fetched, but it's Scream. That's what it is. Yeah. I think everything after the first one's a little far-fetched, but
a little. I mean, the second one, you have the killer's mother comes back for revenge.
Yeah,
and you have a goofy kid who's in
film class,
who wants to be caught, which is kind of,
he deserved to get shot.
Yeah.
Many times.
And then you have, 3, you have the original victim's brother, half brother, because, he got ousted by his mother.
Yeah.
So it's a far-fetched. I mean, it's like everyone who's related to somebody wants revenge on the same person.
Right. It's nice that they changed it up. So maybe Nev Campbell did us a favor.
And she didn't really do anything wrong, but everyone wants to kill her.
Right. It's like, what did I do? I just got conceived after
Why is everyone that's related to someone that wants to kill me? I had nothing to do with it.
Well, in the whole, her mom, that whole story. So she was murdered by...
She was murdered by Billy and Stu. So basically like the prequel to the first one. So they were murdered. She was murdered by Billy and Stu.
Because she slept with one of their dads.
Because she slept with Billy's dad.
And broke the marriage up.
Yeah. So which,
she was a hooah.
Made his mom leave.
Yeah.
So they killed her. And then they wanted to, I guess, finish the job of, framing her dad of everything. Even though she had already said that Cotton Weary had done it.
Right.
And then, so that transpired out of that.
Right.
So then you go into 2, his mom and some film guy wants to, get into the act.
Yep.
And then you have 3, which is her half brother who's in film, who wants to get into the act of, killing everybody.
Right.
And then 4, I don't even remember whatsoever right now.
I think it was her niece. I think. Sydney's niece.
Someone's always related to somebody.
Emma Roberts.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's always someone related to someone who wants to kill her.
Right.
And then you have 5, which was Stu's daughter.
Yeah.
So obviously Billy and Stu had a little fun before they died.
Yeah.
Because they had kids.
Yeah.
On the side of, having girlfriends. So you have his daughter. And then I have no idea who else. I think. I don't know who the killer was, honestly.
Jack Quaid,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's in relation to anybody. And then you have this one.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, for sure. If they move forward, keep this creative team. These directors, they did Scream 5. They did Ready or Not. Did you ever see Ready or Not?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's a good one. I think it's pretty cool. VHS, they also did... It's funny, the Ready or Not, there's like 2 cast members from that movie in this film. Samara Weaving, who plays Laura Crane. She was the girl in the first scene of this film. She's like Margot Robbie's twin. And they're both Aussies, so it's almost like they're sisters, but they both also appeared in Babylon. And then Henry Czerny plays Dr. Christopher Stone. He was in Clear and Present Danger and Mission Impossible. So yeah, those 2 were from... Ready or Not.
Okay,
so that was cool. I connected all the dots after that. Like, oh my gosh, they were in that movie.
You take better notes than I do.
Well, I watch more films probably. Not scary films, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But but the writers, one wrote Zodiac, the screenplay, Scream 5, and then the other one, Ready or Not, Scream 5, and Castle Rock. So, I mean, this is a great creative team, and it shows.
It shows.
I haven't seen the fifth one, but I will definitely go back and see it now. I miss Dewey.
Me too. I mean, that was, not having him around, and I guess we'll get to that part as well too. But
we will. Yes,
it's different.
But yeah, go out and see it. It's a really good movie to take. You took your family in this case.
Yeah.
I think his daughters are 2, 3, and 5. No, I'm kidding. Made that up. No, but I took my daughter. She kind of got me back into Scream. My oldest daughter. She wanted to watch the first one, and then she got addicted and wanted to watch the other one, and she didn't really get scared. I mean, they're more thrillers, I guess, than scary movies. So
sometimes they can be kind of predictable, but yet it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat too, because you're trying to figure out, okay, which one is the killer and all types. It goes with every Scream movie, no matter whether you like it or not. You still,
but they change it up, and this one's effective. I mean, I thought how they changed some of the. Oh, that's how it's going to go down.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it's going to go down. Right. So yeah, we're going to get into spoilers, but yeah, go out and see Scream 6. Show your support. Good movie, good thriller. There's some good moments. I think Mandy, your wife, was, I think, shocked by some of the scares in it, which takes a lot for you guys to get, because you've seen everything. So,
well, obviously not, because you take better notes than I do.
IMDb,
but
IMDb.
We really enjoyed it, and we're kind of on the edge of our seats a lot. In that movie, just trying. It was
good. Yeah, it was a ride. Together. Yeah, it was fun, and it was still. This is week 2 when I saw it, and it was a 9:20 show, and it was packed. It was pretty packed.
We went as like a matinee type of thing. So so when we went, there was really no one there. So maybe the 5 of us plus maybe a couple other people. Yeah. So we had assigned seats for really no reason.
Right. And there is a post credit. Probably don't need to waste your time for.
There's a post credit.
Yeah. It's not worth staying. I don't think.
I try to stay.
I'll share.
Okay. I try to stay long enough to get the credits and stuff like that.
Well, anymore you don't know, right?
Like everyone else is taking off, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to stay.
Well, that's the thing. We were like the only ones in the theater. I'm like, I still have like Scream PTSD, and I'm just like, yeah, this is a creepy setting right now because the lights aren't on yet, and it's like, yeah, we need to go. No, but that's funny because there's even old movies that have post credits. There's some classic old movies that had post credits.
I guess I've never really.
I know.
Wait around long enough.
Marvel wasn't the first, but yeah, you think they would be
because I'm a DCU person, so obviously when I watch those movies, I've watched the credits afterwards because I've kind of learned my lesson on like with X-Men and all types of stuff before, so I stay for that. But I figured even with slasher movies, I guess I never really thought of end credits.
I just kind of guessed, and I did look it up on my phone, and it said like after credit scene explained. I'm like, oh, I didn't read too much into it. I was like, oh, okay, there's an after credit scene.
I can't wait to hear this one.
Oh yeah, well, don't believe the hype. So yeah, that's the non-spoiler portion of this review. So come back and join us when you see the film or get spoiled. So with that, let's talk the opening. That was really
weird because the very first you had the the phone call thing, which always happens, stuff like that, and then lady's waiting for her date to show up, and
you suspected right away though in the call. Like,
I kind of did in a way, but then I was like,
guys like I haven't been on a date for a while,
and I'm like, well, I'm on the street, but maybe I'm not. He's like, well. She goes outside, which is already dumb as it is.
I'm like, don't leave that sidewalk. You shouldn't even be out there.
And he's like, wave it. I'll wave at you. And no, you're not. I must not be on the right street.
Oh, I'm one street over.
I'm one street over. And then you always say, don't go down that alley. She goes down the alley.
And it's a misdirect. There's comfort there because you see people in front of the alley and beyond the alley.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, sure.
It's fine.
But it's not like the woods or anything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But, she goes into the alley.
Of course.
And
we don't have a movie she doesn't.
So talking to the guy, and then all of a sudden the Ghostface shows up.
But before that, he was like, oh, there's someone coming at me.
Oh yeah. He's gonna get me. And then She's the one that gets. She's the one that gets. The one that gets murdered.
It's brutally murdered too.
Brutally,
like,
and then this is the first time that a Ghostface type character had ripped off the mask after he had killed somebody.
I'm like, oh, we're gonna know the killer.
Like, awesome. I'm
yeah.
Like, well, that's gonna kind of spoil the rest of the movie.
Misdirect.
Like, well, maybe not. And then guy gets back to his apartment, and apparently his friend calls. Yeah. Apparently. And then this guy ends up getting murdered.
I'm like chopped up.
And his friend is in the fridge. But his all chopped up. And then the guy that did the original murder ends up getting murdered. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, that was... And then this more like bigger and like kind of bulkier Ghostface. Yeah. And it almost reminds me of the last Halloween movie because the mask is like wrinkled, like crumpled. Yeah. In a way. Like, weathered, yeah. So this is going to be like another like Halloween Ends type of thing. Yeah. Like, looks like that Michael Myers is wearing like Noxzema cream on his face because it's starting to peel off.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, not that I really know that for sure.
Fan fiction.
But, so I'm like, okay, this is going to be like more of like a modern day Scream like Halloween was.
Yeah.
And the like an original.
Yeah, the weathered look is really in.
Yeah. And so that kind of got us on the edge of our seats. Like, okay, so the original killer is dead because he's pissed at his teacher.
Yeah, they murdered their teacher, their film school teacher. And it's also the first time you bump into like, returning characters in the opening too. Because the opening keeps going. It's like... Yeah. You think it was going to end with him killing her, but then the mask comes off, and then he's walking, and then he bumps into the Jenna Ortega and her group.
Yeah, and he knows them. So I'm like, okay, so maybe this guy is gonna. Yeah, we're gonna know who the killer is the whole time. But
I thought that at first. I'm like, nah, we haven't gotten that Scream yet. Right. So
so that part was kind of weird.
Yeah,
but then obviously when he got killed, then we knew that this was obviously a lot bigger than just that. So they were using the Ghostface.
They're copycats, basically.
Yeah, copycat.
They idolized him. Yeah.
And they actually wanted to continue to do that to, like, I guess, build their own movie type of thing.
Yeah, and they're originally weren't they trying to actually get to the legacy characters eventually too?
I think so.
Kill them.
Yeah. I think they're trying to, like, just kind of build on with extra stab type of sequels type of thing.
Right.
And then they ended up,
Gail Weathers is really the fault of these films, these copycats, pretty much. I mean, she wrote the books and they became the movies. Yeah. And so
maybe it's all her fault that everyone wants to kill Sydney.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, she probably deserved those punches, but yeah. And I thought the therapist scene was interesting. How he's like, I can't help you unless you open up, and then Sam opens up to him, and he's like, I quit.
I quit. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this. No,
that's too much.
And it's kind of like, wow. She's like, well, how are you gonna help me? And he's probably like, screw this.
He's like, I'm good.
Your dad was a serial killer, and I'm
gonna go back to Walgreens.
You're the daughter of a serial killer.
Yeah, They really play on that, and you said the last film they did too, right? Like, she had killer instincts, kind of.
It's like she had killer instincts type of thing because she was seeing her dad's ghost. Yeah, and so it was like he was trying to egg her on to become what he was, and in this one he kind of still is. He's still trying to say that you are a born killer, and you need to be more like me.
Yeah,
Your father. I'm your father, and I want you to continue what I started.
Right.
And
family.
Yeah. So it was pretty interesting how it went through the whole movie, and you had all the other characters that came back, and you have Randy's niece who's like trying to piece everything together. Like, okay, they're coming out with a franchise. Yeah, it's the franchise now. Yeah, it's not just sequels; it's a franchise. So
I should have known she was related because I didn't know that yet. I didn't know until they get to the shrine or the museum, the Ghostface museum, that they're related to Randy.
Right.
Outside of that, I'm like, Yeah, she's really like Randy. And
Yeah, I mean, they
probably
had to keep someone like that.
Yeah.
In the sequel or the franchise anyway.
Yeah,
that someone was like a Randy.
Yeah,
who always has to know, who always knows like the rules of not being murdered, and
sure.
Like in the first one, you have to be a virgin to to survive.
Right.
I'm so glad I'm a virgin. Type of thing.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's the same thing in this kind of movies.
No,
but there's always got to be someone in there who knows, who tries to know these things to try and put the pieces together.
Sure.
And unfortunately, she was like, she's the one that ended up getting stabbed in a train.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, fuck franchises. So she's like, I can't believe I got this wrong. So
yeah, man, there's like really a lot of brutality, a lot of and a lot of survivors still, like how, like Gail, I thought was going to bite it for sure. I thought that was going, I thought that from the trailer.
I thought that was going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
Because, when she got attacked in her apartment, and I'm like, yeah, I think this is going to be the end of her. Because they got rid of Dewey. Right. And now we can actually say that. So they got rid of Dewey. And so
was she seeing him in the last one?
No, they always end like a movie like they
together
end up together and then they're apart.
Yeah.
So I don't think they really had a.
She's already recovered romantically.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, and she will probably recover again.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So and she even said in the movie, like, tell whoever they didn't get me.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe she knew that, she was going to survive, maybe based on how she was stabbed. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
because I thought that was going to be the end of her. So that person got her several times.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, okay, that's the end of Gail Weathers. Out with the old, in with the new, which I thought was going to happen.
Yep.
And then they brought in Hayden Panettiere, and
that was a nice return because I thought she died. See, that's how much I didn't remember about.
She's
4.
The one that's in 4.
Yes.
Yes. So
and she shows her scar right away.
Yeah.
So you're familiar.
She's an FBI agent or whatever it is. So she's in. And so she's got a personal stake in this whole thing. And so she tries to kind of, take it over because she has experience.
Yep.
And, she meets up with the detective guy or whatever
it
is.
Yep.
And so, his daughter is like a sex addict. And so when we thought that she was killed off, I'm like, oh, okay, well, she's...
And that was a crazy scene, right?
They
were just in the other room. Like, that's the thing, like... all is up for grabs. Yeah. Like, you're not really safe in the same house. It was
the first time I think ever that they actually had a Ghostface character chasing everyone through the rooms and, more than one person.
Yeah.
And
I get it's a movie, but they knocked this guy down so many times. Like, go at him, grab the knife, and beat the shit out of him, or stab him, or whatever the hell.
But they never do it. They have to keep the suspense going.
I know, I get it, and I like how this Ghostface is like a brick shit house. At least, I mean, the reveal is
a little different.
Yeah, but it's funny how that sexy neighbor who Sam was involved with, he had that ladder.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell was that for? Is he a fireman or something?
I don't know.
I got you.
He must have just had it,
it kind of made me think he was Ghostface. At first. Maybe that was that intent, but he had a long ladder too, man.
He did.
Yeah.
Just to reach from one window to the other. That was pretty convenient.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then, Gail wrote another book from the last film. Shocking.
Yeah.
But she wants to help. But I knew when they had a pulse on her, I was like, yeah, she'll survive.
She'll survive.
Yeah.
She'll probably have a few wounds like Dewey did, because he got stabbed or whatever in every movie.
Yeah, it was a good death though. I mean, Gail did some cool shit. Like, she had the gun, and I like how they amped up the tension because she didn't know her password, or she was freaking out so much she couldn't get to it. And then I love when she goes, "Can I put you on hold?" And she hangs up, and she calls it back, and it goes, ring. Yeah. Well, she still missed. That sucks, but we think anyway. Of course, they have body armor probably, but that was, every scene is really done well. Like, a lot of fighting and survival instincts kicking in, and they're all kicking ass for the most part. But the whole subway was good.
Subway was good, and then when they go to the shrine.
Yeah, which I thought from the trailer, I'm like, this is kind of stupid. This is like Batcave. Like, this is dumb.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, it's like a Batcave.
Yeah. Where's the car at?
Yeah.
You got the Ghostface car?
Yeah. And they have all the like costumes from every movie.
Oh my gosh.
From every killer.
Every weapon. The TV that fell on, what's his face?
Stu.
Which he's got to be alive. That's got to be coming for another film. Like, I thought he lived back then even. In fact, he did shoot a cameo in 2, I think, Matthew Lillard. Like, it was a background. And I don't really think it implied it was like his character. He was just kind of like just showing, just like the actor was there, and he's one of the classes. But I think that was the original idea, was he enrolled in that school and then he was going to come back again, but they decided not to. But that would be a no-brainer though. He's probably alive, because they even said that in here, like allegedly killed him,
Yeah.
Maybe his face is all screwed up.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe he actually looks like a ghost face now.
I'm surprised they didn't.
The skin.
I'm surprised they didn't bring him back as a
ghost
or something like that.
That would have been a cool post-credit scene. I'll get to it, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
You'll be bummed.
Is that what you're kind of leading up to right there?
No. It just reminded me like how shitty this post-credit scene was and how cool it could have been.
But like, yet the shrine. So they had all the costumes from every killer, and then they had, like you said, every weapon. Then
wardrobe.
They had the wardrobe. So they had, like, in the first movie when Drew Barrymore's boyfriend got killed, they had the Letterman's jacket.
Yep.
So they had every single thing that pretty much everyone wore.
The dummy had duct tape, I think, on around its mouth area. I think there was a dummy it was on, and I think it had duct tape around.
Oh, yeah.
I think
the jacket was actually hanging up, I think.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think it was hanging up. But either way, they had basically everything that kind of led up to the current.
Did they have the Jiffy Pop? That would have been funny, right?
I don't remember if they had the Jiffy Pop.
They probably didn't.
But, and then after every murder, the killer would leave a mask every time. And so it was kind of like a count.
DNA on it. Yeah,
with DNA from whoever the killer was from, whatever time frame. And so I thought that kind of cool as well, too. It's like it was a countdown from the original.
Yeah.
And all the way up to the.
Right.
Oh, actually, from the last one all the way down to the original.
Yeah.
Because the last one would have been Billy and Stu's costumes.
Because they shared a mask, right? Or did they not?
I think they had their own.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Because they said that. I think they had their own costumes. I think.
Yeah.
So they said that the DNA matched, Billy and Stu's, whatever. So that was pretty interesting. That counting down all type of stuff, and then we get so basically throughout the whole movie, you have the sisters, trying to, take care of one another. Everyone's going against Billy's daughter because they're thinking that she's the one that's killing everybody.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah.
So everyone is like, you're the murderer. And then they're taking videos of her getting
editing
upset.
them, so it's like
she's the one that's instigating all the fighting.
Yeah.
So she's trying to fight that, and then Jenna Ortega's,
like, give me space. I want to do my own thing.
She wants to do her own thing.
Yeah, because she basically followed them to school, right? Yeah.
And so basically, it's kind of like trying to come into their own, but yet trying to get away from what they had to go through before, and then Sam trying to get away from the whole. Billy Loomis ghost, which he doesn't seem to want to go away because he wants her to fulfill what he started.
Well, I assume Sam and Tara are half siblings, right?
I think so.
Okay,
they're half siblings.
Yeah, I didn't.
They'd have to be because
she never actually acts like that was her dad, or
right,
and she's not haunted like her sister is.
So I'm assuming they're half. So obviously the mom probably had her after Billy died, and then didn't want to tell her that her father was a freaking serial killer. Was
the mom ever revealed?
I don't think so.
Okay,
and
just probably some high school
something
chick.
that I kind of wonder if they made a seventh one.
Yeah,
and if it would be like
anything,
like their mother, because like maybe she was like totally in love with Billy Loomis.
Yeah,
and so maybe like her mother and
it was my idea.
And another. Like maybe another family member, Stu's, would get together and they would try and go after him because, it was, if they couldn't live, why should they? Type of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of the kind of mindset that I have, which is kind of weird.
Or the principal's son or daughter, Henry Winkler.
Yeah,
I like how they showed that. Yeah, hey, hey.
So
he survived.
So
they use scissors like he had.
But again, through the rest of the movie, it was like, who were the killers? And we all, I thought it was just the one.
It was
killer.
a good guessing game.
I thought it was one killer. And then, you had the detective who, obviously he said he lost his daughter.
Yeah.
And so he was upset about that. He wants to do anything he can to try and find the killer. So he's actually helping everybody else at the same time trying to find the person.
Gail finds the museum.
Gail finds
whatever it's called.
And then so like all of a sudden like things change, and this guy is the one that's kind of behind the whole thing because his son got killed in the last movie because his son was one of the killers, so he wants to come back for revenge.
Yeah, and Jack Quaid's and
then it turns out that the guy that everyone suspected was the killer ends up being one of the killers. The young guy that no one trusted.
Right.
Yeah. Because no one knew where he was and all type of stuff.
The virgin.
And the daughter that got killed was also in it because
they swap bodies. Yeah.
They swap bodies. So they're all related.
Yeah.
So it's the cop, his daughter, his son, all doing revenge because the cop's other son from the 5th movie was the one that got killed. So they're trying to kill.
So did they not have the same last name then? Because if they did, you would know for sure. Like, oh yeah.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I caught it or not because they said the guy's first name, and maybe they did say the last name, but maybe they say and piece it together. Maybe I don't know.
Right, because they're the Baileys.
Yeah,
that's who they are.
So, so you have the family going up against Sam and Tara.
Yeah.
From killing their older brother.
Right.
So it's like a whole family.
Well, they built this shrine for that older brother because he loved films. He loved scary movies. He loved this whole mythology.
So it's always someone that's either in film.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be someone who's going to be related.
Film's connected to it. Yep.
Someone else who ends up being a killer or come back for revenge.
Right.
So basically it's like a whole film.
It'll never end. Basically.
It's like it never ends. So someone's always going to be related to someone.
Yeah.
In these films that become the killer or
there's always been a connection. I think I don't think any of them really been a copycat. They all have a connection to one of the characters
in some form. Yeah, because it's either a family member of the original characters, or it's a family member of a character that played Ghostface that ended up dying, and so their family's pissed off that they want to come back and kill the person or people who killed their family member.
Yeah, so that's
why I'm guessing that if they do make a 7th one, that it's going to be more of a, maybe Sam and Tara's mother, maybe, or maybe she won't be like directly involved, or maybe like be a part of it in some form. So that's just my
There's
guess.
A lot to play with. Yeah, so at least they set that up, and they didn't maybe introduce those characters per se, so you could have anyone play them, and yeah.
But I thought this was a really good original way of doing things, and the way they kept everybody, they kept us on the edge of our seats trying to figure out, who the person or people were who were doing this, and doing it in crowds.
Yeah,
and not just like in the woods or in a quiet building. They were actually doing it killing people or 7 people on the train.
Yeah,
in an alley, just around people.
Like anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
So, trying to top this one, I think would be very hard to do. But I think that since they have like this modern thing going on now, I think it could work out.
Yeah,
but it'll have to be really good to
Yeah, for sure. And I like how they played with Sam throughout this film. Like she's a killer, blah blah blah. She grabs a knife at one point. From her dad or the reflection or whatever. Yep. So they're playing with that, and then. That last scene where she has the mask.
Yeah, she actually ends up wearing the costume. She takes
that too. Yes, of course. Yes. Yep.
So I think in a way she kind of fulfilled what her father wanted her to do, but I don't think she did. She didn't do it in a way that And then in the end, I think she just kind of just drops it.
She drops the mask, but she had it in a bag. And like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're done with that. They might not be, but it would suck if that character went evil,
turn bad.
But she'd only do that if she was being hunted or whatever. I don't think she's not like Billy. Like
possessed by her dad.
It's not like innocent people. So I don't know. Maybe she'll find a therapist that'll actually help her.
I don't know how much further they can go with the Scream movies because at some point it is going to die out.
Right. I mean, you can give it time too, like they did between 4 and 5, and there'll be some new trend they can get on top of.
Before we know it, it's going to be the grandparents. The characters are going to be grandparents or whatever, and they're going to be trying to kill their kids' friends or something like that. Who knows? So.
Right. The Kirby misdirect. Did you think she was maybe the Ghostface killer?
I did at first because when it went back to when she first showed up, I didn't. But when they went to the shrine area and she like closes the door, like it's going to be like the trap door, or whatever.
Yeah,
trap
she has that look.
She has that smirk on her face, and she walks off. And we're like, oh, so maybe she's the one that's kind of playing everybody. And then when the detective guy says it's so and so, we're like, oh, okay, now we got this. Yeah. And because I didn't think about that guy even being a part of it,
Oh yeah, I mean it was a good misdirect because he looked into her.
But also when they revealed who it was, and the way that he talks, and then the way that the voice was on the phone.
Oh sure.
It sounded pretty similar. So I'm like, okay, that part makes sense now.
Right.
So maybe he was doing all the phone calls but without having to do the voiceover because it was probably his regular voice. And they just didn't really, pick up on it.
Yep.
But I thought she was at first until obviously she showed up a little bit, bloody.
Yeah, right.
So like, okay, well maybe, that could happen. But Stu showed up, beat up as well too, and he ended up being a killer. So it was,
that's true.
It could have been anybody.
Right.
At that time, so.
And Chad looked like he bit it. He got stabbed many times.
Yeah.
After they kissed, of all times too.
Yeah. And I thought like
him and Tara,
they must not hit some really vital organs because the way that guy was stabbed.
Oh, it was bad.
I thought he was. I thought he was a goner.
Well, look at Dewey though. How many times did he get stabbed?
Oh yeah, he got.
His stabbings like improved his nerve damage. It seemed because he gradually was able to move again more.
Yeah, he got stabbed in the back. He got sliced in the arm. He got his legs nearly ripped off. I mean, the only thing.
So he could come back.
I mean, I guess in the last one when he got ripped in half, I guess he could have sewed them together again.
Yeah,
I guess. But,
right.
But I thought that guy was a goner too. I'm like, wow. And I thought the sister was going to be a goner as well.
Yeah.
Because once they, when she got stabbed, but
like right in her gut, and then he even went further. It looked like, and it's like, okay. Or she, because he was in the car in, non-Ghostface mode,
right?
Yeah,
and he's like, oh shit, like, oh my god, and
that's a great misdirect too. Yeah, he's like, well, see, he's trying to help her.
Yeah, and I thought the way she was kind of bleeding, I thought that she was gone as well too, but. No, so I guess we
got a live one here. The classic line. We got a live one here. Like, okay, yeah, there we go. That's cool. I liked his character too. I was bummed when he. Yeah, I thought that was the end of him, and but the whole Kirby aspect. I was like, that seems too easy, And so I was like, maybe not. But also her size, I'm like, I can't see her doing the killings because she's, there's a scene where she's like walking with the rest of the group. She's short. Yeah, there's no freaking way unless she was on stilts.
Really high boots because, sometimes the gown part is pretty long.
Yeah.
So I guess she could have been on high boots or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, there's so many directions they could go, but yeah, overall, this was a good movie, and
well, the Ghostface guy himself was pretty bulky, but when they did the reveal, they were skinny as hell,
right? I know, right? Yeah, I mean, the kid, I guess, but still, it's like maybe he had armor on, but man, it's just the way they were able to move and stuff, and
unless like the dad, maybe did some of the original.
Dad's like 60 though, but I mean.
Laurie Metcalf did the killing in the third one or the second one, and she, threw Randy around like a rag doll. So
that's true.
I guess it's possible.
Yeah,
because
the
killer
true.
was bulky looking. When they.
But that's also a misdirect. But that was really cool. There's so many other places they could go. I'm definitely not tired of it yet.
No,
but I don't want them. I don't want them to Fast and Furious it like we're gonna do 10 films. Like let's just one at a time. And who knows? Maybe when they did 5, they had this idea for 6. Like it wasn't like rushed because man, it really. I mean, production-wise, it was rushed, so it makes you wonder if they already had a story in mind, because usually when they rush like this, it's not that great. Right. So,
yeah, I mean, in this case, it worked out. It doesn't always work out in these types of situations, especially in that kind of genre. Yeah. And I think it actually worked out this time.
Well, yeah, I mean, because just like 2 was fast-tracked, and 2 is better than it was to me when it first came out. There was just so much hype as well. And I remember trying desperately to see that in a theater because, I was underage and we got in, luckily. But, so not that problem anymore. This was the first Scream movie I returned to theaters to since 3. So, been a while. But,
I don't think we went and saw the other ones in theaters. We saw 5 in the theater.
Yeah.
The other ones, I don't recall if we did or not.
Right,
so I think I waited for them to come out on DVD.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
sure. Yeah, it's funny. My daughter didn't catch up either. So she hadn't seen all of 4 yet. So she probably really didn't know what was going on. But I at least knew the 4, and when they did the recap, I remembered even more. Right. Like, oh, that's right. They both did. And I was like, oh, they were in that film. Like, oh my gosh, because there's like big actors now.
That's probably what my wife had posted on Facebook. About make sure you watch the other ones first before you go into watching these new ones.
I procrastinated and so I got surprised. I pretty much figured Dewey was gone. Because someone did reveal like in a trailer or something Dewey's legacy. I'm like, okay, yeah. And he didn't see him anywhere on production art or anything. So I was like, he's probably gone.
Yeah.
But I was okay with Gail going, but it's okay. I guess. But man, she had a great fight for her life. It would have been a good death. Like, she did kick some good ass. So hopefully she won't be so predictable with this next one. Whenever it's going to happen, she always is on their good side. And then the next movie, she's, hated by them because she wrote another book. And then, of course, now she survived this. She'll probably be the talk of the town.
Man, I almost got killed in my apartment.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
My own personal stab.
Yeah. There you go. I think there's 3 stabs in this franchise, this universe.
I think so.
Yeah. So stab 4. Stab 4.
Me.
Me. Stab me.
Stab me.
Okay. Well, yeah. I had a lot of fun with this film. This is good.
It was good.
So worthy to spend the money on, I would say. Or wait a couple months and you'll get it on Paramount Plus, perhaps. But yeah, maybe I will own the whole franchise eventually on physical media. I definitely wanted to get the first one. Yeah. Because I thought that was a classic. But maybe 5 and 6 will join, and at that time, you might as well have them all. So
I think I have the original both on VHS and DVD.
So. Well, the original was so great because Drew Barrymore is on the cover of the poster, and you think, oh, she's going to headline this whole movie, and she's dead in 10 minutes.
The first few minutes of the movie.
And I think that was the first too. Like, that was a big misdirect.
Yeah.
And Jada Pinkett was in the second one, and she died
within the first few minutes.
Right. Which maybe that's, the rewatchability factor for a lot of people is high on that.
Probably. Yeah. It's weird how you see all the more experienced actors, whatever, that die off in the first.
And 3 was Cotton Weary.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know he was a good dude in the end. Even though 2 was they played it both ways. So, and of course, it's Liam Shriver, who's a great, well-known actor now. He's been in a lot of things, and
I think it reminded me of something he said in the second movie when Gale Weathers got shot.
Yeah,
and he's like, are you okay? He's like, it just bounced off the bone. He's like, you got more lives than a cat. And I mean, she's been hurt and a lot of these.
He has some nice quirks to him.
She keeps living.
Yeah, right. True. Yeah, maybe she'll be the one in the end. I'm sure they'll bring Sydney back.
If they do, it will have to be the end.
Yeah,
it would have to be.
Well, maybe it'll be. Gail said she left. She sends her love, but she's living her life now with her family.
Yeah, I guess when they found out that the killings had started again.
Yeah,
I guess she took her family into hiding somewhere.
Yeah,
so they wouldn't be.
Ooh, that's the setting for the next movie.
It could be
Minneapolis. No, I don't know. Mall America,
but wherever it could be, I guess. Yeah, she took her family into hiding to make until it was all over with. So maybe that could be an attack on her family, or
Canada.
Canada.
Hey, scream,
maybe somewhere in Florida or maybe whoever.
Yeah.
Montana, who knows?
They
have a Scream movie in the mountains.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I bet they could do something like that. That would be fun. That's a good new setting.
Scream in the mountains.
And have like a big bear claw through the mask. You know? Yeah. I like that. See, we are already doing our work for you guys. You're creative.
We need to start making movies.
Team. Yeah. Okay. I'm for it. Just need the money or creativity, I guess.
I guess creativity.
If it looks fake, it's entertaining too, right?
Yeah.
So cardboard and all that jazz.
Why not?
But, yeah.
Low budget. It could be success.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. Pay all our bills off. So, wishful thinking, but maybe. But no, this was great. This is fun. So yeah, go out and see it. And yeah. So with that said, I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Don't pick up the phone.